All right, hello everyone. Let me introduce myself. I'm Brianne Berger, and I'm here to interview Tina Jo Breindel, or TJ for short. We're discussing her 6 books for children to learn sign. I have a few of her books here with me. I noticed in the background you have several pictures from your books. I will give a brief introduction and then let TJ speak for herself. To elaborate, TJ was born in New York into a Jewish hearing family. Her parents had no knowledge about deaf people when they discovered she was deaf. They invested a lot of time into researching what her life could be. They researched for information on how to raise a deaf child. TJ found their things: articles, books, information, everything they could get their hands on to learn about deaf life. That is what she has done for the deaf children now, and why ASL baby board books exist. TJ's parents wanted her to have the same quality of life as others. TJ went to a deaf school, NTID, and attended Gallaudet University as well as American University. Afterwards, TJ worked at Gallaudet and witnessed the Deaf President Now (DPN) movement and protest, where she met her husband. Together, she and her husband founded Dawn Sign Press, DSP. In addition to supporting many great causes, such as helping families with anyone else benefiting from using ASL with children, they continue to be involved with deaf schools and community organizations. TJ has raised 3 children and remains involved in the deaf community. And she has received many, many awards in recognition of her numerous contributions to the deaf education and literature. Let's say hello to TJ.
It's nice to be here with you.
Thank you for joining us.
It's fun to talk about our books. Just to let you know, my husband, Joe Danis, founded DSP himself 10 years before I joined. He was in t shirts and coloring books when I had joined. For me, it's been 32 years, and for him, 41.
41 years? That's awesome. You have done a lot for the deaf community, particularly deaf children. Thank you both.
Regarding ASL baby board books, there were none out there when my deaf son was born. I had nothing to use for my son, except for what was already out there, such as books for teaching baby signs to hearing children, or books which had signs that were very small and tucked away in the corner. We decided that we needed to create one ourselves, which was easy since I was already working for a publishing company. So it wasn't that difficult to publish baby board books. The characters are based on my son's classmates. And we made sure to show diversity. In the past, these were called books on diversity, but now, thanks to BLM, the Black Lives Matter movement, we instead think about BIPOC friendly materials. These books were already ahead of them. You can see these books on diversity here. Here's why it's important to have those books. Babies already have a worldview of what they see around them. They know it is a ball or grass near them, and how to connect these images with a sign shown in these books.
Wonderful. Thank you for explaining these books and the history of DSP. What was your inspiration for writing those books? Do you feel your Jewish faith or deafhood are part of your motivation to write?
Yes. I'm thankful to my parents because since I'm an only child, I got 100% of attention from my parents. As you explained, they had never met a deaf person before having me. I realized that language and humor are two key parts of my Jewishness. Literacy and humor. I wanted to instill that in my own children. Creating these board books was exactly what I wanted to do. Not just for my own son, but for every baby out there, both hearing and deaf. It and now it's become more popular for autistic kids as well. Parents always want more, so why have everything here? Notice many themes are related to what babies know. Objects and English words with their corresponding signs. That has really motivated me to create more. Now, 6 books. I think one part related to Judaism is that my parents read to me a lot. So thanks to them, I'm able to do the same with my own children.
Great. What do you want people to learn from these books? We already discussed some of that, but in general,
Yes, for example, a child can learn to share with siblings. These lessons are not limited to babies. Parents can learn too. For example, this book is called Playtime. Throw, ball. Often the father is left out of the picture in other books. So we include him too. This one is about different colors. Purple.
cute.
By taking the kids to the zoo to see all the animals, kids can connect the animals to a sign by seeing them in real life, like seeing shells on a beach. Everything in the books is based on real life.
I think also for hearing children who are around deaf children, such as in mainstream schools, it is helpful for them to have something visual to connect with their deaf peers. They may learn to sign and inspire their hearing parents as well to sign with them.
You notice the proliferation of ASL everywhere. Hearing people, strangers on the street, they claim they know some signs and finger spelling, but that's not truly sign language. The same goes for baby signs. No, these are authentic signs in our books. I researched and chose the most popular vocabulary babies are familiar with from 6 months onward. You know, babies crawl before they walk. Babies can sign before they learn to speak.
Definitely.
I thought, why wait until they're ready? They're ready from day one. I have to tell you, once I was at a store signing with my son, and a woman asked us what we were doing. I said, I'm signing to my son. She was confused and asked, what? I said, I'm signing to my son to talk with him. She couldn't make the connection and asked, what do you do when he cries? How do you hear him? I don't hear the baby crying. She was shocked. Many people out there don't know about accessibility options, such as flashing lights. I'm thankful for the technology we have today. Many people are clueless. So these books are eye opening, starting with something simple, not hard. These are easy, simple signs that help parents get ready to move up to harder signs, such as taking classes.
I'm glad that you added that part about authentic signs. That's really important today with so many competing signs. We need to focus on authentic signing, and there's a huge push for that right now. You've been ahead of that for 41 years, right?
With baby board books, I started in 2005. This first book,
I have the same one.
the character on the cover is a coda. They're
Coda.
all based on people I know. I have more in the other room, but they're all based on my son's classmates from pre K and kindergarten. That project was fun
That's
to do.
awesome. I love that. It adds like a personal touch where someone can say, "See that picture? That's me. I was that baby."
They're now all in their 20s.
Great. Can you share your experience getting published? Was it easy? Was it hard? What advice do you have for other Jewish deaf writers who want to publish their work?
For me, since I already worked in a publishing company, DSP, it was easier to get in. Today, more and more people are self publishing or publishing online. It depends on whether their theme matches that of a publishing company. With writing, for me, it's not an easy task. Each book takes about 18 months from writing to illustrating, feedback and reviews, 18 months on average. Some take less time, some take 2 or 3 years. Starting the first book, I realized it was not so difficult. So I went ahead and published my second. And then I realized the demand was so high, so I published a third, fourth, fifth, and now sixth. I would love to do more. I encourage people to go online and find out how much publishing costs. It really depends. A publishing company already has an in house editor, in house support. If not, who would help out with marketing? Publishing companies can take care of marketing for you, as long as you find a publishing company that fits your niche. You know, they would already have a market in that field. Don't allow anything to stop you from getting your writing published.
I'm curious, if we self-publish, how does that book get sold or marketed? How would people know about the book? Do we promote on the internet and articles or in like other ways?
And to have a great team for marketing. Before COVID, we were able to go to conferences to put our products on display.
Booths?
Through schools, a lot of programs often have book sales for an author or themed books. That's how you pull in buyers. It really depends on which marketing method you choose, reputation or theme. With COVID, I thought this would be harder, but no, everyone is very dependent on the internet, and more people can find our information than ever before.
Great. Do you have any last words for our viewers before we wrap up?
No last words. Everything is the beginning. Don't allow anything to stop you from dreaming big, but start small, with your eyes open. Anything is possible. And if you get support, you can make it happen. The Jewishness inside of me has become stronger since I've become a mother. So maybe parents will relate with me. As a kid, not really, but as a parent, yes. I appreciate that you reminded me and sparked the Jewishness in me. Yes, I am Jewish. I often forget. I look at myself as a deaf woman, white, and that's all. But I'm Jewish too.
I agree. I'm also a mother and now more motivated to be involved in the Jewish community for my kids. My kids are involved as well. They start religious school this fall, and I'm excited about that. It had been postponed due to COVID.
It's been hard in these trying times. Everything has totally changed, and our temple has to keep up with the change. We have to be able to adjust, and some have not been able to work through the challenge. Let me check my notes to see if I missed anything important to share.
Sure.
Some last words. I encourage every parent, really anyone. Everyone can learn to sign. You don't need anything special to learn. It can be really simple, like I love you. Make sure we give everything we can to children and start with their hands, not their voice.
Agreed. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, advice, experiences with us. This community is so blessed to have you. Thank you, and I appreciate you sharing with our viewers.
I want to thank you for recognizing our little books. They're so tiny to perfectly fit a baby's hand.
That makes sense. I've always loved mine and love reading them with my kids. They're very colorful, so I appreciate the story that you've given today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.